It was just 2 years back that pretty much everyone had written off OnePlus. But last year, with the OnePlus 11 and later, and more importantly with the OnePlus Open, the brand came back very strong. So I was expecting a lot from this year's OnePlus 12, and on paper, it looked quite promising. So I bought it day one, and I've used it over 6 months, and now in this video, I'll share my experience of using this phone and also try to answer whether this phone is back to being a great flagship killer or has it evolved into something else. So without any further ado, let's get started. While OnePlus has repeated last year's design in the OnePlus 12, this new finish and the attention to detail really won me over. And the build quality is equally impressive. You get a metal frame with glass on both sides, and this glass is Gorilla Glass Victus 2, which is quite durable. I've used this phone quite extensively over the past 6 months without any screen protector with just a case, and my phone is still as good as new with zero scratches. In terms of dimensions, this phone is quite big, but because of its curved edges, it doesn't feel too big in the hand. However, it does feel bulky, especially because it is a bit top heavy thanks to its massive camera bump and all the metal surrounding it. It is also not IP68 rated, so it can't be submerged in water. However, it is IP65 rated, which is a slight improvement over last year's IP64 rating. So now, it can withstand low pressure water jets in addition to last year's splash proofing. Still, for a phone of its price range, an IP68 rating should have been provided. This display, in my opinion, is the most improved component of the OnePlus 12. It is so much brighter than the OnePlus 11's display, and with 2160Hz of PWM dimming and Aqua Touch feature, it is also more practical. Speaking of practical, this display is still curved, which makes it a bit impractical as it sometimes leads to accidental touches and also makes it more prone to damage. Still, it makes the phone look more premium and feels smaller than it actually is, which makes it more comfortable to hold. So curved displays have their pros and cons. I used to love curved displays, but now I've started to appreciate the practicality of flat displays. Coming to media consumption, this is where the display truly shines. I mean, it literally shines like the sun, especially with Dolby Vision content on Netflix. The brightness of HDR highlights is off the charts. It's simply incredible. So, if curved display is not a big issue for you, this is easily the best display you can get on a phone, especially for HDR content. Next is audio, and unsurprisingly, the OnePlus 12 is great in this department as well. The sound coming from its stereo speakers is loud and clear with punchy bass. I just feel that the treble could have been slightly brighter to make the overall sound feel more balanced, but it's still among the best. Hear it for yourself. Now this is an audio recording sample of the OnePlus 12 and I feel it sounds quite good. What do you think? Even in terms of earpiece clarity, I have nothing to complain about. So phone calls handling, even in noisy environment, won't be an issue on this phone. Coming to audio enhancements, you get support for Dolby Atmos and spatial audio when you connect your headphones. Speaking of headphones, I tested my IEMs with a high-res DAC on this phone and everything worked perfectly, including the controls. So gamers and audiophiles who use wired audio will have no problem on this phone. And for everyone using Bluetooth headphones and TWS buds, this phone supports all the codecs including LDAC and LHDC lossless codecs. So this phone is pretty much flawless in terms of audio. Now let's talk about the camera, which is also massively improved over last year's OnePlus 11. So now you get 3 large high-resolution sensors on the back. This 3x zoom periscope sensor is especially a big hardware upgrade. Even the front camera has a good high-resolution sensor and a very wide field of view, ideal for group selfies. Coming to image samples, in general, you get natural-looking shots with a lot of detail, mostly accurate colors, and good but not great dynamic range, with a little more contrast to make the images look more appealing. In shots with a lot of vegetation, You can notice all the different shades of green, which is quite good, as with most phones, the greens are boosted to such an extent that everything looks like the same shade of green. As this primary camera has a big enough sensor, you can achieve blurred background with close-up objects. Coming to extreme cases of dynamic range like facing the sun or in a mix of indoor and outdoor lighting, this phone again does a decent job. Now coming to low light shots, I'm quite happy with the results. The way this phone balances the bright lights and the dim surroundings looks very natural, though I would have liked the shadow details to be boosted slightly to make the shots more appealing. Now comparing all the three cameras, for the most part, you can see a good amount of consistency in colors, exposure and white balance between these three cameras. However, with some tricky lighting, you will notice a difference in white balance and exposure between the three cameras. But at least in night mode shots, all the three cameras are almost equally good. For portrait shots, you can use the 1x and 3x cameras and both produce very good results, including good skin tones and good edge detection. The ultra-wide and periscope cameras are both capable of taking macro shots, but the 6x macro shots definitely stand out. This 6x lossless zoom focal length is also very useful for things like wildlife photography, and here even the 10x shots do a good job, but zooming beyond 10x is not very impressive. Coming to selfies, this phone does a good job in pretty much every lighting condition. However, it misses out on a very important feature, which is the single and group selfie modes. You can see that most phones have this feature. This is especially important for wide-angle selfie cameras like the OnePlus 12, because if you take a close-up selfie without crop, the face looks quite distorted. But if you take the same selfie from a little more distance and then manually crop in, this selfie looks so much better. So OnePlus should add this feature to their camera app as soon as possible. Coming to videos, this phone can record videos in up to 8K 24fps. It looks a little choppy, and OnePlus should have also given an 8K 30fps option like the iQOO 12 and S24 Ultra. It can also record videos in 4K 60fps with all its rear cameras, and you can even switch between lenses while recording. This is definitely appreciated, and the overall video quality also looks nice. However, the night video quality is okay at best. It has a lot of noise and lacks details. iQOO 12 with its night video mode does a better job here. You can check it out in my iQOO 12 review. Coming to selfie video, OnePlus has finally given us 4K video recording, which is good, but it is still limited to 30fps and it is not on par with the competition, especially from the likes of Samsung and Apple. You also get portrait video capability, but that is limited to 1080p 30fps. In terms of the camera UI, you get a very polished and easy to use app. It has some cool camera modes like dual view video and long exposure mode, as well as some more advanced modes like master mode and film mode. So overall, for the price, you get a very capable camera system. It obviously has room for improvement, but OnePlus has come a long way in this department. Next, let's talk about performance. This phone packs in the most powerful chip of 2024 so far, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, and its performance is absolutely amazing. So in terms of benchmarks, you get excellent scores across the board. However, even though this phone packs in a massive vapor chamber cooling system, this phone is not tuned for extreme performance like the iQOO 12, so its longer duration stress test scores are not very impressive. However, I have not found any real-world issue with its long duration performance. For example, I played Genshin Impact at the highest graphics and 60fps for over 45 minutes and got an average frame rate of 59fps, which is excellent. Even with other games like PUBG, COD, Asphalt Legends Unite and Disney Speedstorm, this phone played all the games at max graphics and max frame rate. So the gaming experience on this phone is simply fantastic. And for day-to-day use, it is one of the smoothest phones I have ever used. The OnePlus 12 runs on Oxygen OS 14 based on Android 14, and this phone will get 4 years of Android updates and at least 5 years of security updates. Now there is a lot to like in Oxygen OS 14. You get all the great legacy features like Zen mode, screen of gestures, quick launch and so on. But now there are some very useful additions like file lock and smart suggestions. Also, now you can extract content from screenshots as well as auto-pixelate sensitive content like phone numbers. Also, you can make an instant cutout from any image as well as quickly erase anything from any image. One feature that I appreciate a lot is that now you can set refresh rate for each app and game individually. This is a welcome move, as I had criticized OnePlus 11 for limiting the refresh rate of many apps and games to 60 Hz, making the UI feel sluggish at times. Still, I've experienced a few bugs here and there. The most irritating one is while using a third-party launcher like this Nova Launcher Prime. So, if you have gesture navigation enabled, the app closing animation is completely messed up. But overall, this is one of the best Android skins out there, as it feels very smooth and polished, has a lot of cool and useful features, comes with almost no bloatware, and gets regular updates. Now coming to battery, this is an area where I'm extremely happy with this phone. So first of all, you get a pretty massive 5400 mAh battery. This thing can easily last 2 days of light to moderate usage. I regularly get 7 to 8 hours of screen on time. Even with PC Mark battery test and YouTube video streaming test, I got the best results of all the phones I've tested so far. And the good news doesn't stop there. You get a 100 watts charger in the box, and this thing charges the phone in no time. My only minor criticism with this charger is that it is not a Type-C to Type-C charger, and it is not power delivery compliant. Going back to good news, I had purchased this 50 watts wireless charger with the OnePlus 9 Pro and was quite disappointed with the OnePlus 11 as it had dropped wireless charging. But now I'm so glad that OnePlus has brought wireless charging back. This thing charges the phone faster than my S24 Ultra gets charged with a wired charger. Also, even with all this fast charging, the battery health, even after over 6 months, is still at 100%. After Apple and Samsung, OnePlus has now created a good ecosystem of products and accessories that complement each other. So with excellent products like the Buds 2 Pro, Pad 2 and Watch 2, the OnePlus ecosystem is better than ever, and each of these complements and enhances the capabilities of the OnePlus 12. So if you want to gradually invest in a good ecosystem, OnePlus 12 is a great first piece of the puzzle. In terms of other capabilities, I love the universal remote capability of the OnePlus 12. It can be very useful at times. Even the alert slider is such a useful feature, as you can mute the phone without even unlocking it. And the haptic feedback provided by this phone is easily among the best. The way haptics are integrated within the UI makes the UI feel more tactile and fun to use. Coming to security, the fingerprint scanner is fast, reliable and perfectly positioned. Even the face unlock system is quite fast and accurate. In terms of sensors and connectivity, nothing is missing. Even the Type-C port is now a USB 3 port with video out support. So transferring files is super fast, and screen mirroring is also very convenient, especially for gamers. Coming to network features, again there is nothing to complain about. You get support for all the latest standards and several 5G bands. Finally, the conclusion. With the premium design, awesome display, great audio, dependable cameras, insane performance, outstanding battery, and a pleasant software experience, there is little to complain about here. The only major feature missing is an IP68 rating. Still, with so much to offer, I don't think OnePlus has made a flagship killer. They have actually made a proper flagship with a killer price. In fact, right now, with bank offers, you can actually get it much cheaper than its original price. And the festive sale season is just around the corner. So expect such deals to get more frequent in the coming weeks and months. Alright, that's the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. Please like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel down below. Thanks for watching.